Hi friends, this is Ashish Munuz. Welcome to the Azure series. Today let's look into how to create a new Azure SQL database. For that, go to the Azure portal. So once you are in the Azure portal, let's look into the SQL database. So if you look at the left hand navigation, you can find the SQL databases, or if you go to if SQL database is actually not really listed here, what you can do, you can go and find, you can click on create a resource, and then you can search for SQL, Azure SQL database. So there, so Microsoft actually provided the SQL database service. Let's try to create one. So this is something similar to our virtual machine creation form. It's actually asking, okay, which subscription you want to use at this moment. Okay, I got only one subscription. Let's choose that. Maybe in your case, if you purchase the Azure paid version, actually yes, then you may have a paid subscription, or if you use a trial, the subscription would be actually trial. And select the appropriate subscription, and then the resource group. Let's try to create a new resource group. And then the database name. So you need to actually provide the database name. But before that, if you look at here, so there is another field which is asking, what's your server? What is a SQL server? Okay, so in this case, if you click here, I don't have any server listed here. So that means actually, we need to create a server first. Click on create new. There you can actually provide you can give your server name. Let's say, okay, just for the testing purpose, I should test. And then, you can give the username to log into the database, to the server, a SQL server, and then the password. And the location, where do you want to create the database? Let's try to use the Australian East, which is in Sydney. Click OK. So that would actually, so this information actually will be used to create the SQL server. So here, okay, so that information is actually saved here, and now you can actually able to give the database name. Let's say Azure test. And then there's another option. Do you want to use a SQL Elastic Pool? So if you use if you select AS, that means actually, so this is actually going to share the resources actually between the databases. So let's say if you have multiple databases actually in a pool, then the resources will be actually shared across different databases. So let's say let's choose no at this moment, and then you can actually choose the compute and storage. So let's click here. So if you look at here, there are different types of sizes of the SQL Server sizes you can actually choose. So there is the topmost version is actually business critical version. Actually, that's actually going to that's the most the top version. That's actually going to cost you for 65 euros per month. That's actually a generation 5 database up to 18 cores and 408 GB memory. Another version is actually hyperscale. So that is actually, that is much, that's lesser than the business critical. Or if you want to actually, so if you want to host, business critical database, okay, then you would need to actually go for business critical. Or otherwise, you can choose hyperscale. So hyperscale is actually, yes, it's again, it's 80 cores and 408 memory, 408 GB memory, and the estimated cost per month is actually $545. Another type is actually general purpose, so you could actually use this. Um, yeah, the estimated cost is actually 232 euros per month. And then if you look for standard and premium, you can click here. In the standard, it's actually going to cost you around 13.92 euros per month. And you can actually choose, like, if you choose standard, you'll be getting 250 GB of space, data size. And then but you can actually choose, so if you choose more DTUs, actually, then it's actually, the monthly price is actually increasing. So let's choose DTU as 10. Um, and um, and the basic version is actually, which is the cheapest version, which is actually, the maximum size is actually 2 GB. And it's actually going to cost you around 4.63 euros. So for the testing purpose, so let's choose this, the basic version, and then click apply. So now we completed the first tab, and let's go to the networking tab. Here, they are asking, yes, it's asking, like, you can actually choose, or what sort of connectivity method you want to use. So if you select no access, yes, there will not be any public endpoints. So if you choose public endpoints, you can select, do you want to allow other Azure services to actually access the database. So for example, like, if you host your website on Azure web app, and if you want to use this database, for that, yes, you would need to choose yes, add current, and also it's asking, do you want to add the current client IP address. So once you create your database, you will be able to access the database using SQL Server Management Studio. For accessing, through the SSMS, you would need to whitelist your client IP address. So let's say S, because otherwise you will not be able to access the DB, using SQL Server Management Studio. And or if you want the private endpoints, you can also choose private endpoints. But just for the demo purpose, let me choose this public endpoint, and then click yes here. And then you can actually go to the next one, additional settings. So in the additional settings, you can actually able to find data sources. Do you want to create a new database, a blank database? Okay, then select none. Or if you already have a backup, and you want to actually use that particular backup, okay, then it's actually backup. Or Azure is providing a sample database, Adventure Works LT, which is actually a sample database, and that will actually create it for you. Let's choose none for the time being. And the next option is, what sort of collation actually would you choose. For ASCII's, for a normal in English, text database, okay, go ahead with the Latin, which is actually the by default one. And then it's asking about, do you want an advanced security? By default, it's not included. Or if you want actually additional security, okay, you can also choose the additional security. Let's go to the tag. The tag is basically actually for grouping the resources, actually, for identifying the cost actually for a particular resource. So let's say in this case, actually, if you set the tags, you can actually able to find like how much amount actually, how much was actually the, how much it cost, for running the database actually for a particular month. I'm not really selecting anything here, and then let's go to the last tab, review and create. Yes, it's actually okay. The subscription is actually the by default one. The resource group, okay, we created a new one, and the data center is actually Australia East. The database name, the server we actually created, and the specification on, okay, we choose the basic version. And also, do you want to allow others Azure service to access your SQL server? Yes. And then yes, yeah, we also added, we also allocated, we also added the client IP address to actually access the SQL server using SQL Management Studio. So we haven't added any private endpoint here, and it's a blank database with the Latin collection, and without the advanced security options. And then just need to create. Just need to click on create. That will actually create the database. Thanks for watching.